This is my code walkthrough for my municipal application for programming, part one. So firstly, this is a model class in which I declare a ID, which is a primary key. I define a location attribute, a category attribute, which would be a drop-down menu in the application, a description, and then over here, multimedia and iForm file. So multimedia just basically stores the metadata, and the iForm file, upload file attributes, allows me to convert, it allows me to cap capture the upload and convert it to a multimedia object, basically. This is my multimedia model class where it has ID. I can store the byte size of my of either the user's image or document that's been submitted, the file name, the description, the file extensions, content type, size, and the issue ID, which is technically a foreign key to the report issues class. And then finally, there's another model class for feedback, which is a user engagement strategy I decided to add, where it also has an ID, so a primary key, and then a comment and an email. So the comment is required, whereas the email is not. So the user can remain anonymous if they wish. And then the controller is the heart of the code, you could say. So in this case, I created my data structures, which is a list. So the list stores both um, my issues that have been reported, and then it also stores my multimedia. Okay, so this get function just displays the form submission page. So to submit an issue, this post result, this post method basically allows the user to submit and add it to the list, this issues list. So firstly, it checks if my model is valid. So that is the location field is the location field, is the category field, is the description field. The multimedia is basically optional, so they don't have to submit that. So if it is valid, it increments the ID so that it's unique each time. And then here just basically forms part of making sure for the multimedia upload. So it checks if the media upload is not equal to null. So if there is something uploaded, and it makes sure that the file size is greater than 0. So here I use a memory stream, which is a memory buffer to hold the file, whereas, and then after that, I use an async, I use copy to async for asynchronous transaction in which I can copy the file to memory. So this is basically what this part does. Over here, I just created an object that stores these values, and then I add it to the multimedia list over here. And then I also add the rest of the issues, and then I redirect to the view issues page. So this is where they will be allowed to see the different issues they've posted. But if the model, if there was an error, any errors in the model, it would return to the index page, which will allow them to resubmit. And then this get method basically just displays all of the issues that have been submitted. So over here is a loop for each loop. So for each of the issues, it checks if it's null, And if it's null, it will assign it a value. But if it's not null, it won't assign it. It will keep the same values. So basically, this prevents overwriting of data. So it's a good safety check. And then this part, this link query over here, is primarily to match the multimedia and the issue ID together so that it's so that the multimedia and the issue ID go that was submitted together go together when being displayed. And then over here just returns the view. And then for my feedback form, it's very similar. So I created a feedback list that would store each of the feedback that was submitted. So over here is a post method where it checks if all required values are entered. Then it'll increment the ID. It'll add the feedback model. So it would add the feedback to the list. And then over here, it's just going to display in the console what the feedback was. So it's going to display the ID, the comment, and the email. So this is optional. And then it's going to return to the index page. So the in this case, the index page would be the feedback form page. So here we'll return the model if it's so this checks if it's valid, and then if it's not valid, we'll return the view model. So over here, um, okay, so this part isn't necessary. So, oh no, wait. Okay, right. So this is my JavaScript. This is just basic JavaScript. So over here, I check for, I allow the user to see the file they've uploaded and the size, the format size of the file they uploaded. So I just created a function here that allows you to that turns the byte size into either gigabytes, megabytes, or gigabytes. Um, Over here, if they've submitted, it basically won't allow, it'll disable the submit button. So there's no chance of resubmitting. So it's just a safety check. Over here, I get the progress bar elements. And then over here, I simulate the progress bar to increment until it redirects to the next page. So if I had to execute, so this is the basic home page. Over here, I can report an issue. So if I say view issues, it has a count of zeros so far and no issues reported yet. So if I had to click here, I can say main street. I can select an option of water and utilities. And then I can say water stopped in the area. And then I can upload a optional media. So I can submit this. So this over here is this JavaScript code over here where it allows me to display the file name and basically its details. So if I submit report, here's my progress bar, and then it displays to the user the issues that were reported and it increments each issue. So if I had to report another issue, street type of issue, road potholes on Blue Street. And then if I choose option E not to submit a multimedia, it will just display no multimedia is attached. And then additionally, the local events and announcements and the service request status are blocked out for now, which is done in the code, in the layout page. So over here, I basically use the document.query selector, um, similar aspect to it. I basically just disable the event and I just create an opacity so that it doesn't allow the use. So it just looks lighter. So it shows it being blocked off. And then in the home page, the user can submit feedback. So they can say issues dealt with quickly, and they can enter an email address. So random at email.com. And if I submit the feedback, it returns back here. And then if I had to go into my console, it'll display it in here. And then if I had to just type another one and optionally not enter the email and submit it, it'll still allow me to submit the comment and just be the email being null or an empty string. So that's my application. Thank you.